Doreen, you're on mute, so you have to unmute yourself.
Oh, it's right. It's okay, right?
Yes, please.
Is it okay now? Okay,
Yes,
so
please. You can go ahead. Okay.
hmm. So I'm just showing my face for the introduction, and then I would dive right into it, and later maybe for the Q&A, I would show face again. So hello everyone, you're welcome. My name is Doreen Rahina Suleiman. I'm the Executive Director for Targeted Rights Initiative. As you said earlier, we deal with gender-based violence and digital rights. We deal with gender-based violence both online and offline, but my specialty is in technology facilitated gender-based violence and then online safety as a whole. So today we are going to talk about strengthening parental oversight in the digital age. I hope you are all ready to digest.
Yes.
All right, so I'll just start. Um, so my title is Guiding Children Safely in the Digital World. And why are we here today, or what are we going to talk about today? We are here to explore practical parental control strategies, how to build trust, and ways to supervise children's online activities effectively. So the top 6 things that I'm going to talk about are why this conversation matters, setting boundaries with your kids, building trust in order for them to tell you what is going on with them online, you keeping an eye without spying, what to do in case of emergency, and then what do I think? So I'll delve just right in why this conversation matters. Children are spending more time online than ever before. But how do we as parents ensure they are safe while allowing them to explore and learn? This was supposed to be a poll question, but then I'll just go ahead. The internet is a double-edged sword, as of put it here. It offers education, entertainment, but also exposes children to cyberbullying, harmful content, and online predators. These days, people are being groomed. Just yesterday, I was at a program by Media Foundation for West Africa, and we had a personnel from the cybersecurity agency talking about how people are now grooming children online, all in the name of education, sponsorships, some also trying to get expose them to what is going on around the world. And it's unfortunate these things are happening, and parents, these things are happening right under your nose. So we are this conversation is also going to talk about how what you can do and how we can help mitigate these things. And in Ghana and many African cultures, parenting is community driven, yet digital parenting is new for us. Sometimes you talk to parents and they go like, my child opens some things in the phones or on their tablet that I can't even do. Or you get people saying, so I had this computer or I had this application in the car and I couldn't do it. I've been trying several times and my child just touches it and that's it. Yes. Unfortunately, this is their world now. This is what they know. But as parents, as we are protecting them offline, as we are doing our parental duties, our responsibilities, the control, we also have to monitor what they do online. We have to know that the dangerous things that we think go on outside or offline can also happen online, and it could even be worse. So we are also going to talk about how we balance traditional parenting styles with the realities of the digital age. So setting boundaries. As African parents, traditionally monitor children's relationships or friendships in real life. Now we must do same online. It is clear that we want to give them some sort of freedom to do things just so they can be themselves. Or maybe you think, let me give them this phone or this tablet to just while I wait time, while I'm also able to do some things that I'm doing. But you may never know what they're getting themselves into. Now, TV games that used to be something for fun is even more dangerous now. It is very, very, very dangerous now. Aside social media, TV games are now dangerous places. So you just don't give them the tablets. You just don't give them the phones. You just don't give them the computer. You need to set clear rules about the internet use. You decide what platforms, websites, or apps your child can use and set limits for screen time. I would use myself as an example. I have two children, a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old. They have tablets. But then I have parental control on it. In the case that I use their email addresses, their birthdays to set to create their email addresses. So Google in actuality knows that these are minors accounts. So they give the parents the control over so many things. I set screen times, I set limits, and then I set what they can watch. They are not allowed to watch YouTube, but they can watch YouTube Kids. And even on YouTube Kids, there are certain things that I have blocked. So you let them watch what you think is best for them. You get to decide. Well, if you get to decide the kind of people they should befriend, or the kind of people they should hang out with, clearly you should be able to dictate to them what they should watch and what is good for them online. So you can use some parental built-in control tools and apps such as the Google Family Link, the one that I just talked about. It is important to use your child's date of birth, their actual information, to set up a Google account. When you do that, Google would acknowledge that that is a minor, that is a child. And in that case, they would give you prompts as to how to get the family link. And then with there, you would get access to their tablets. And even not just that, you even have access to their locations where the tablets are. So if the tablets are with them and you can't find them, you can just go on it to know their location. You can set the type of websites they go to, the type of apps they download on their tablets and phones. You have control over all that. Apple Screen Time also does the same thing. It's similar. And then we have Microsoft Family Safety to also monitor and filter content. And then one thing that I do, in as much as I do this, I have teenagers at home too. That is my nephews and nieces. So on a router, there are places that there are some settings that you go there and then you block what each person, or what you have their computer, you have their tablets, you have the names, the device name. So you set the boundaries. This device can only log into these places, or this device can only search on these kind of websites. Those are some of the things you can do. And then one most important thing is teaching children to avoid sharing personal information and explaining the dangers of talking to strangers online. Just as you advise them to be mindful of strangers outside, a stranger is not your friend. It's the same thing as being online. Don't talk to strangers. Don't entertain them. If someone comes to you telling you things and you're not comfortable, you immediately tell your parents or even a trusted adult. You should be able to let them understand these kind of things. And then you should let them know that they shouldn't be sharing personal information like their birthdays, their ID cards, their schools, places that they are going to. It's like leaving a footprint. People that want to harm that child can pick on these things gradually, form a thing, and then at a point in time, they would get a pattern as to where you are with your family most of the times. If they go to the playground, which particular playground you always go to. If they get to know that once they are grooming them online, or they are trying to harm them online, it can transcend to the physical form, and then they get them. So it's not only dangerous online, it can go outside too. So it's important you teach them to avoid sharing such personal information. And then building trust. A trusting child is more likely to come to you first before running into trouble. And I know that as parents, we always do things to ensure that our children will come to us first in case they have any problem. Building trust is important. It is important because it makes them more likely to talk to you about their problems. And you should be doing same online. You let them know that once you are doing things online, let me know what you're going to, or you can even ask them questions. You can have conversations with them about what have you been doing online today? What were you watching? What did you learn from it? What did you see? What is your favorite app? This game that you're playing, how is it being played? How does it work? You know, when you engage in such conversations with them, you get to know how they are doing online or what they are doing online, the type of friends they make. You go deeper to let them open their friends' pages. You do your own investigation or exploration. You explore their friends' pages. You ask them if it's okay to check their conversations, what they are talking about, what do you chat about with your new friend online. You know, you get to know all these things. And then when you see that your child has made a mistake by maybe saying something or sharing something, don't go all harsh because things like that makes them hold back. But you take your time to ask what happened, and then you acknowledge that that's a mistake. You let them know that it's not supposed to be done. You don't do that. And then you talk to them. You guide them as to how they can go about things and they shouldn't be doing it. And in that case, you can even tell them to advise their friend or whoever they were doing that with, that my mother or my father said this is not right. So let's not do it. And if you feel it becomes a problem, just block and report the person. Especially if the person is older than your child, that is even a big red flag. So you practice healthy screen habits yourself so they can emulate. As a parent, you need to set boundaries. You need to set boundaries. As you are setting boundaries like screen time for them, you also set screen time for yourself. Maybe weekends in the mornings, you can have a little bit of screen time, that's like 30 minutes. And evenings, when you are going to have dinner, you come back from school, you know that you have to do your homework, do a little extracurricular activities, you eat, and then you study, you go to bed. So while you're telling them to do that, you, the parents yourself, can give yourself a break around that time. So if they see that mommy or daddy is not on their phone around that time, and they are telling me not to be on my tablet around that time, it's pretty much understandable. Or they see that you are not often on your phone or your tablet or your laptop. So when they see that you take breaks and you tell them that, Ama, Kofi, it's enough. I want you to take a break, put the tablets down, put the phone down, and read. Go and play outside. Do this, do that. They would understand because they see you do it. But if they see you on the phone all the time, kids like to test boundaries these days. They like to test boundaries these days. So sometimes, and they have their own tantrums too. They can decide not to and see what you do to them, which isn't right. And another thing that I would like to discuss about building trust is teaching them critical thinking and explain fake news, scams, and online dangers in the way they understand. So you try to let them know that maybe there is a fake news, or what example, what's the example can I use? Since they are kids, I'm trying to find a better example. But then let's see, I'll think about example. But then let's say scams, for instance. You let them know that people can come to you on the internet and tell you that they know a sibling somewhere, or they are a cousin, an estranged cousin, a sibling, sorry, a relative or a friend or something. So they would need you to send them this, or they would need you to take mommy's picture of her account, her card, her Visa card, and all those things. You teach them that it is not right to send those things to people, because if you don't know the person, if the person needs it, the person should go to mommy. You let them know that such things are scams. People are online and they're scamming people. They ask you to send them money. Or sometimes they tell you they are selling things, you get interested, and then you send them the money and you never get the things. When you hear of some scams and you know it is easily relatable to them, you try to explain it to them, you show it to them, you explain to them, you teach them some of these dangers. And then you talk to them about cyberbullying, about grooming. You let them know that when someone insults you online, when someone is trying to bully you online, it's a bad thing. So you tell your mom or you tell your dad on a trusted adult so they can report the person and block the person. And if there happen to be threats, you take screenshots and then you find the nearest police station to report the incidents. GISF, that's Ghana Internet Safety Foundation, they have helplines to counter those things. Cybersecurity does that. The police service itself, you can go to them. And if you find out it's an issue of sexual harassment, I think you can go to DOFSU and WAJU2. They are all under the police unit. But then the most important thing is reports. You report and you document. I always tell people you report and you document. And then maybe there may be news about particular products out there, which could be fake. So when you see it, I'm coming to the fake news. When you see it, you explain to them that maybe they are marketing gimmicks, or maybe somebody is just trying to put this image out there to tarnish somebody's image, but it's not true. You don't share. If you see anything that you don't know, you're not sure of, don't share, don't repost, don't click, don't comment. And one important thing that I tell people is, if you do not have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. So you teach them to not say anything if they have anything to say about somebody's comments, somebody's post. It could be a picture or anything. You teach them to be nice outside. So you have to teach them to be nice online too. And then we are going to keeping an eye without spying. This is my favorite place. So keeping an eye without spying. One, you need to know what they are doing online. But then it doesn't have to be in their face like that. As I said earlier, you have the family link. You can monitor what they do online and also ask them questions. Ask them questions. It's all part of building trust. When you ask them questions, they will be open to you. You can also discuss some things that you see online with them. It doesn't have to be explicit content. It has to be something they can easily relate with. Okay, maybe you saw an advert or you saw a post about an educational post, you can just discuss it with them, and then maybe there's a recipe you saw that you would want to try. So you can just have that chat with them and ask them, this is what I see. What do you think? Do you think we should try it? Do you think the family would like it? Something of that sort. When you keep having those conversations with them, it's easier for them to also come out to you when you ask them what they are doing online. And then encourage healthy gadgets use. Encouraging healthy gadgets use is basically setting limitations. For me, my kids know that Monday to Friday, there is no tablets unless weekends. But when we are on vacation or we are on holidays, we can have our tablet for just 4 hours. They don't really know it's 4 hours, but then they know that at a point in time, it will go off. And as soon as that downtime comes on, they have to go and put it down with no tantrums, with no comments. Just put it down. We tell them that it's safe for your eyes. We let them know. I let them know that the tablet is off or there is downtime because their eyes are beginning to hurt. And if their eyes are beginning to hurt, they have to put it down so their eyes can rest. So you set such boundaries. And as I said earlier, as a parent, you could also do same. As much as you're training your child, you're also training yourself. You might never know. You might never know. So you set all the regulations and then monitor without invading privacy. Let's say, COVID came with a lot of online activities. And now some schools are stuck with teaching online or having private online classes. A lot could go in on there, and some parents have private online classes for their children. So your child is having an online classes with maybe a math, English, science tutor. It's just the two of them online. And as at that moment, the child is on the computer or on the tablet, the child has access to other websites or other places. You just step in a few moments, maybe 30 minutes, you do check to actually know that they are concentrating on what they are doing. You step in to check. If you realize they are drifting away, you call their attention to it that study, this is what you have to do. And then it is also important to listen into what the private tutor or whoever they are having that online conversation with is telling them. You know, you don't necessarily have to, it doesn't necessarily have to be in their face, but you have to know, because it's unfortunate that sometimes the people we trust most are the people that even cause harm to our children. You could think that this is a tutor that I've hired to tutor my child in this particular course. But if it's the tutor is grooming your child in a way, if you don't do these regular checkups, you might never know. You might never know. So it's important to do all those things. And then teaching self-regulation. That's another important step too. So you have the screen time. You have the regulations as to the tablets or their phones or their machines going off, or there are restrictions on certain websites and all. You should also be able to teach the child that I've had enough screen time. Maybe I've watched YouTube or I've watched videos. I've watched 3 videos. 3 videos is enough. Maybe I would play one game. In addition to the 3 videos, my eyes would be tired. Sorry. So let me put the tablet, the phone, or the gadget down for a while and then go and play or go and rest my eyes or go and do something. After all is done, maybe in the next 2 or 3 hours, they can come back to it and do another thing. Let them know that it is okay to put it down when you feel tired or when your eyes are tired. There's been instances where parents complain that their children are not sleeping. It's because of too much screen time. When they are watching the cartoons, they get so into it that even if they are feeling sleepy, they don't want to sleep. They want to complete the episode they are watching, and another comes in, and if they are playing games, it keeps going on and going on. So you have to teach your child to self-regulate. And yes, so what do you do in case of emergency? If a child is being cyberbullied, I spoke about cyberbullying earlier, but I will expatiate on it more here. Cyberbullying is a situation where somebody is picking on your child online, either by comments, either by sending them messages in their DMs, inboxes. It could be threats, it could be insults, and a whole lot. So, and these kind of things affect children. You might notice a change in the child. That's why it's important to encourage the conversation, like building trust. You know what your child is doing. You ask your child often, how are you being online? What is going on? Have you got any new friend? What are you talking about? What is trending? What is the topic? You be friendly about it. So once you notice the child is being bullied, the child reports to you that he or she is being bullied, you teach them to block the person and then report the abuse to the social media authorities. So once you take reports, there are different steps. Some are mute, in comments, insults, and all that. You report that, and then you tell a trusted adult. That's like the child telling you. So as a parent, if you look at it and you notice that the abuse is too much and there are threats, you can take screenshots. As I said earlier, there are places that you can report to. GISF is doing same. National Cybersecurity Authority, they have sessions. The cybercrime unit, Ghana Police will do that, would help you with that. There are a few online websites that you can report, but then I'm not so certain with the child reporting. But then I know that these places in Ghana, especially the Ghana Police and the cybercrime unit, they would help you with that if you go to report. And then in case your child sees inappropriate and harmful content, have an honest discussion and guide them. Facebook now is just full of unnecessary things. The content moderation there is just not it now. And as you leave your child to navigate the internet, there may be a time that they may see inappropriate things. They may see sexual activities, they may see nude pictures, they may even see people killing people, shooting or butchering or slaughtering, all those, and they are all considered harmful and inappropriate content for children. So once they tell you that, you have a discussion with them, and then you explain things in your best knowledge, you explain things to them, you let them know, and then you take your time to block all those places he or she saw those things, because there are particular pages that do that. You trace and then you block the pages, and then you report them as well. Reporting is very important, especially on the online platforms. If something is bothering you, just block and report. And if your child is having anxiety or mental breakdown due to social media or internet, emphasize on the need to let you know what is going on with them and seek professional help if possible. As I was saying the cyberbullying area earlier, I mentioned that sometimes when they are being cyberbullied, you may see a change in their attitude or a change in their well-being. Once you see that, you try to find out what is going on with them. And if it is due to social media, you do your investigation, you block and report as usual. But then if you realize it's gotten to a stage that is too far, you seek professional help for them. There are counselors who can help with that. So you see therapists and counselors to help them come out of this. There are professional help and people out there doing that work. I'm sure if you should get to Ghana Police and you ask for this, they can get you some. I'm not so certain on particular people that do that. But if I ever find out, I would blast it out. But you seek professional help if it's gotten too far. And immediately you notice your child addiction to social media or gaming, set boundaries and encourage balance. They can be replaced with healthy games or family time activities. I think I've mentioned this several times. Sometimes people, just recently, I was having a conversation with somebody and the person mentioned that the fact that I'm being on my phone all the time doesn't mean I'm addicted. I'm not saying you're addicted, but then addiction is very real. Addiction is comes in a situation or is in a situation where your child comes back from school and the first thing they want to do is to get their tablets, get their phones, whatever gaming app, whether being the TV or computer, they just get right into it and start playing game. Or they get their tablets and they just move on to TikTok, or they just move on to Facebook, Instagram. It's like they are always itching to be there to find out what's going on and doing all their things. Once you find out that your child is getting at this, and with this, sometimes when you tell your child to do something and you realize that they're not giving you much attention, but then their attention is on the phone or on their gadgets, that's where the problem comes in. You set boundaries. You can ground them for some time, seize it, and then you let them know that I asked you to do this. and you did not because you were so interested in your phone. So there will be repercussions. I'm going to take the phone away or the gadget away from you for maybe 3 days. Replace it with any other activity. Find out what your child is interested in and then try encouraging him or her to get into such activities. And when you realize that you don't really have to take swift action, you can take your time to plan. Maybe one weekend as a parent, you plan a family time activity and then you kind of make it a ritual. So you know that this time, every weekend, like every particular day, we are doing this, we are doing that. So you notice that gradually they'll be backing up slowly from their addiction. And then again, if you think it's become too much, you can seek professional help because you definitely want to help your child. And if your child falls victim to online scam or fraud, immediately report to the authorities to conduct an investigation and apprehend the people. So I'm sure maybe some people will be wondering why I'm talking about online scam or fraud to children. Just yesterday, I had a conversation with a cybersecurity digital forensics analyst, and she was telling me how a 15-year-old was groomed and scammed online, and it's even led to sexual abuse because she met a gentleman online who came in the position of trying to help her secure a scholarship. So he keeps talking to her, getting her things, and then at a point, he asked to meet her. And clearly, he demanded to be intimate with the child before he does it. And even with that, he couldn't give anything because it was clearly a lie. It was a scam. So children do go through that, especially those in their teenage years. Sometimes they may see something online, and if they have a little bit of savings, and once they have a phone, maybe it's registered to a parent's name, but they have access to mobile money. So they can see something online they would want to buy. They would pay, and at the end of the day, they are scammed and offered it. So all these things happens to children. Immediately you find out, you report to the authorities, and if it's that serious, the authorities will take it up, and then they will know where to begin the investigations, and then know what to do. And then, so what do I think? This place was supposed to be a Q&A or takeaway, but then I'm going to tell you what I think, and then afterwards you also tell me what you think, and if you have any question, you ask me. So what do I think? Be involved in your child's online life, just as you are in their offline life. You care about your child, you play with your child, you talk to your child. Do that about their online life. I've mentioned this several times. You set rules, be flexible and adapt. Become accustomed to trends and make changes as your child grows. With this, I mean, know what your child is involved in online. And then if you know your child is usually on TikTok, you go there, you explore, you get used to the trends so that you can have those conversations with them. And that is when you will be able to detect harmful content and all that. So once you're accustomed to these kind of things, you quickly step in to block and report. And then as your child grows, you set new rules with regards to the family link and all. Let's say if they were young, you're giving them 4 hours of screen time. Maybe, as I said earlier, now schools are doing these online classes with their students. So maybe you would set their screen time to 6 or 8 hours. Or you would actually know the times for them to be online. And then you talk to them, not at them. Open conversations that build trust. When you see them doing something wrong, especially with their gadgets or online, you don't scold them there and then. You talk to them, you let them, first of all, I think it's always important to ask them why it happened, why they're doing that. But immediately you start scolding them or talking at them and shouting and all those things, it makes them hold back. At that moment, with all that tension, they can't really tell you anything. So it's important to take your time to talk to them, and then you get to find out what is going on. And then you use technology wisely. Parental control tools help in teaching self-discipline. The parental control tools help, but teaching self-discipline is key. I said earlier, you have the Apple Screen Time, you have the Google Family, you have the Microsoft Family Time. But letting them know that maybe I watch 2 videos and I play one game is enough. I can put it down and then I would go and do other thing is good. Or you're letting them know that, okay, today I'm not going to touch my tablet at all because I want to do fun stuff. Maybe I want to do paperwork. I want to do coloring. I want to play football. I want to do this. You let them know that in as much as they would want to do that, having life like outside just their tablets too is very important. Thank you. And as I said earlier, Doreen Rahina Suleiman. So this is me again. Any questions? And
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. Wow. Thank you so much, Doreen, for an
You too.
insightful presentation. I believe we've
Yeah.
taken a lot from it. Well, I know I have. I'm sure we have many questions. Let's all kindly drop it in the chat room or in the
Yeah.
Q&A box above. Yes, so that we can continue the session and we can end on time. All right. Thank you so much, Doreen,
Oh,
once again.
Okay, thank you very much. I've seen a friend on there. I'm going to message her.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so somebody would
Okay.
come.
Thank you.
Thank
We would
you.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to have our second session. So we are going to wait for a while for him to share his screen. Eben, we are waiting for you to share your screen, please. Okay. All right. Okay, so we continue our session and I'm going to introduce our second speaker. Yes, right. We are privileged to have Eben Asare-Boafo with us. Eben is the CEO of Web4UGhana.com Limited and an alumnus of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. With extensive experience in web solutions and online safety, Eben is dedicated to promoting digital literacy and safeguarding initiatives across Ghana. Eben will shed light on the various online risks our children may encounter, from scams and grooming to cyberbullying and sextortion, and how we as guardians can proactively address these challenges. Let's all welcome Eben. Eben, over to you.
Right. Thank you and good evening. Greetings to other countries. So greetings to everyone, not specific to time zone.
Yes.
Okay. We thank our first presenter for insightful presentation. She said a lot, and parents should be learning a lot these days because the times have changed. Last week, let me start off with this news that I read last week from Houston, Texas, in which 3 teenagers, took knives and ran after their mother because the mother turned off the Wi-Fi in the house. Actually, the agenda was they agreed to kill her. And she had to run out of the house. Someone called 911 and all that. I was very worried because if you have 3 sons and they can gang up to kill you, the mother, because you've turned off the Wi-Fi in the house, then
Wow.
we have a crisis on our hands as a society.
Yes,
Because
that's what-
it comes off after 2 incidences in which one boy killed the mother because the mother said he's playing too many games these days and he's not doing his homework assignments. So the boy waited when the mother was asleep, took an axe and butchered the mother. Another case happened last year, that one in Russia, in which 21-year-old man attacked the parents, killed the mother, seriously wounded the father, vice versa. But killed one, but the one survived, but seriously wounded. And the only offense was he's addicted to video games, and they are putting pressure on him that he should get something to do with his life. So he thought the only option is to just eliminate them so that he can have his peaceful life continuing the video gaming. So sometimes when you address these issues, people think, oh, it's far-fetched. So, I mean, it's their time. Let them enjoy technology and all that. But I started the intro with this, or with these 3 case studies or news, I mean, events, true events that happened, so that we see the severity of what is happening. The consequence of it, the extreme end of it is what I just cited in 3 news items. So let's progress as we start. So virtually this webinar is a guide, for parents why online safety matters. Children spend more time online than ever. No generation has been as this one. I mean, we are the only generation to be having exposure to devices, internet, and all that. The internet is a great tool, but has hidden dangers. And parents also play a crucial role in guiding safe usage. We can't leave out the role of a parent in these modern times if really we care about the children. I'm focusing on these 6 things, and we are looking at cyberbullying, that's hurtful messages, exclusion, public shaming. We are looking at inappropriate content, the children get exposed to it, the violence involved, the adult content, extremist content, online predators. Just immediate speaker cited an instances where we have, people create fake profiles, grooming in the chat rooms and the game rooms. We are looking at the privacy risks, oversharing personal info, school photos, location. We also have parents who are guilty of it, not just the children. Then we have the scamming and the phishing, where we have fake links, people click, oh, free, you win this, you won a free ticket to this country and this competition. And then things are installed on the device. Some become dangerous spying devices, spying. Lots of things happen afterwards and all that. Then screen addiction, sleep loss, anxiety withdrawal, and all that. But let me just run through them because we have just a short time, but let's see how far we can go. So the cyberbullying, I believe the speaker has said quite a number of things, but there's something happening which sometimes you think these things are not happening in Ghana, but there are cases of cyberbullying in which some are getting, all the attacks from their people, their friends online, quote and unquote friends online, shaming them and all that. And it's creating a psychological issue because when people compare like 2 friends, for instance, let me give a scenario where 2 friends post pictures online separately. Let's say after Sunday service, they all took pictures, they posted online. And after about 12 hours by Sunday evening, one has about 400 likes and about 200 comments. And then the other one has just 2 or 3, 4, 5 likes and just about 1 comment or 2 comments. Then someone will now compare these two and using it to shame the one who had less comments and less likes. And psychologically, this puts a strain on the person. It's like, so the questions that run through the person, and mostly in this aspect is a lot of, it's more females who suffer this aspect of shaming most, where the thoughts will be, okay, am I not beautiful enough? Is my dress not nice? The background of the picture, is it not nice? Is the car the car that I took the picture beside me? All sorts of comparison goes on in their mind. Psychologically, they fail, then they are not up to standard. So it creates, some have the extreme issues of depression because they are not beautiful enough, or okay, they are too fat. The one who got a lot of likes is slimmer. So, okay, then that means body shaming. You see, these things are happening on the blind side of parents, and it's quite worrying the way things are going. So it's important parents get to understand some of these things happening. Some of the ways to know these things, I'll discuss it a bit further in the presentation. Then inappropriate content, violence. There are video games that we now have several video games that are extremely violent. Extremely violent. I recently previewed one, and the bloodshed in that game is appalling. So when a child plays these type of games, it's not surprising that we have children who can easily kill their parents, because there is the psychological aspect of video games, because they become so real to the person that some equate it to real life. So if he can kill in a video game, then killing in real life, what's the big deal? So that's one of the downsides to these R18 type of games. So you have young children playing these violent games, bloody violent games. It's not good for their psychological well-being. And adult content, we all know the consequences of it and all that on children is extreme. Then we have the online predators. Last year, a friend in US, I was having a chat with her, and she told me that around 1 a.m., she had a prompt to, actually, she sometimes does it, randomly goes to the children's rooms as an inspector, just in case, just to check randomly. She went to the elder daughter's room 1 a.m. and the girl was online chatting, on the tablet. So by then she had not set any standards in terms of these device usage and all. So she snatched the device, and apparently the child was having a chat with a man in Australia. The time zone, US and Australia, several hours. So it's like my friend became extremely worried. And it's like when you looked at the profile, this is, a man far older than this girl is, I think 14, no, 15. So by then, okay, at that time when it happened, the girl was 14. So a 14-year-old girl with a conversation, having a chat with this grown-up man of almost 30 years. So clearly you can see that, this is an online predator who is establishing a connection, and it's so bad that, we've had instances. My friend was able to, step in and then stop this whole thing from escalating. But there are instances where, in countries where it's easy to, people have means to easily travel, can afford tickets and all, people have traveled from one country to the other, these online predators, to go and connect with the people they met online. they abuse them, there are cases of abuses, and after that, there are killings, murder, and all. And you see, so it's not as simple as, oh, they are just online friends, nothing bad can happen. A lot can happen from there. They actually trick most of the time. They're able to deceive and trick them to take photos. Initially, what really made my friend worried was my friend saw that the daughter had taken some photos and sent it to the man. Though they were not nude photos, but it starts from somewhere. It will start from, I mean, normal photos. Then, oh, okay, then the poses will be worsening and worsening until it's like, oh, okay, then remove something, removed, and then eventually it gets to, undies and all that. So that was what really triggered the worry in my friend to the point that no, she had to do something about it. So she got in touch with me and we discussed it. You see, so we this online conversations and friendships and the seriousness of it. Then the privacy risks involved, over sharing personal information. And when I mentioned this earlier, I mentioned that parents are also involved. Some parents are involved in sorry, the internet's okay, sorry. Okay. Where did I go off, Ima? What point did I go off? Okay, let me just continue. So we have this instance where some parents would take pictures of their children, upload it on Facebook, on online, Instagram, whatever. Some are wearing their school uniforms. So a bad person can identify the school the children are attending. So location can be known easily, with Google search and all that. You can easily trace, so search the name, okay, so the children go to this school and all that. You see, so sometimes we overshare so much in terms of personal information through pictures unknowingly because lack of knowledge. So people just take pictures and share. I mean, online, family time, they take and share, not considering that sometimes the content of the pictures or the location or the things in the background are open doors to, evil eyes. I mean, you are sending a message out there. So in terms of these things, and then on the side of the children, the teenagers, the children, whatever, in terms of what do they share online, you have to let them understand that you don't need to share your pictures because like the case I talked about, my friend in the US, the child started sharing pictures, taking pictures and sharing it. And this is where it always starts harmless, normal picture, and then it escalates and all that. And then quickly the scamming and the phishing, where it's a major issue now. I mean, yesterday I had a good laugh when I read that the MTN CEO himself got a call from scammers. And I was saying that, you see, these people are so daring. So, the online scamming is happening today, just today. I had a call around 3 p.m. I was working somewhere and this client and friend called me. Her Instagram account has been hacked and the person is demanding $100 before, I mean, he will give access to the code and all that. So there's a lot of things happening and we have to let them understand that, I mean, there are evil guys out there online. And then the screen addiction. Screen addiction needs a whole discussion on its own. I mean, it's a very detailed thing where how long is too long or how short is too short when it comes to the time we should allow them. And now it's being proposed that at least 2 hours a day should be okay for a child. I mean, 2 hours a day, because if you don't regulate it, I know of a case in Accra where this woman, as careless as she is, can allow the child to be on the phone till 1 a.m. in the morning, and the child is going to school in the morning by 6 a.m. So this friend approached, I mean, this friend who is a neighbor to this woman, advised the woman that it's not safe for the child, it's not good for her health and her well-being, emotional well-being, and all the dangers involved in this. And the mother just sees it as, oh, well, it's nothing, it's not a big deal. That's how serious it is. The mother didn't see anything serious about it. So didn't think the warning my friend gave to her something to act on. All right, so quickly, what are some of the warning signs to watch out for? Emotional and psychological changes, increased anxiety or depression. When you just realize that there are sudden mood swings, they are irritated, withdrawal from family gatherings, like the family used to sit together after eating or something, and now withdrawing, they are not interested in those family meets, sitting around to talk. They just want to be alone, want to be isolated. When anyone is coming around, it's like, I mean, wait, I mean, don't come in, that type of thing. That means there's something being hidden and trying to cover up before someone else sees it. And the fear of secrecy around devices is so. If someone takes the device or is approaching the device, they try to hide it. They want to treat it as like a no-go, a no-touch thing. Even when it's their parents, they still want to ensure that no one touches it. Clearly, that's a big red flag because there's something being hidden. There's also the low self-esteem, negative self-talk, especially after being online. You see, but these things are listed there. It takes the cooperation of parents and the good observation of parents to be able to identify some of these things, these behavioral changes and all that. So parents really have to be that observant to be able to see that. But in the case where now you have some parents who are very busy and do not really know what is happening in the spaces of their children, that can be a challenge because some have no time at all to be able to observe the gradual changes happening in their lives. So especially, you see, recently a neuroscientist was explaining what happens to, the brain when addiction is formed, because you see, in summary, dopamine is the brain secretes this chemical in the brain that gives satisfaction of reward. We can call it the reward or the satisfaction that comes from an activity. So it can be a low activity as just eating or having friends, conversation with friends, linking up with your family. These are all giving you some little doses of satisfaction and excitement. But when someone gets into an addiction of something extreme, such as video gaming, internet usage, social media, and all that, now their satisfaction is coming from that activity in higher doses. So the little doses that they get from eating, sitting around with their siblings, the parents, chatting, and all those basic things, those little doses do not satisfy the person again. So they would always want to go into the activity that gives them the quick high dose. And that's the same effects, drug addicts and all, because they do it because that's where they get a quick dose, the quick push for a pump in the dopamine. So they lose interest in the smaller doses that come from the normal human activities that hitherto should have made them satisfied and content in life and okay and all. So it's quite a serious thing that we should not joke with. Then social and behavioral shifts, avoiding friends and family, as I'm saying. So now they don't see the need to connect with friends and family. They have to isolate themselves, lose interest in offline activities. Because these are all little doses of dopamine, which they don't need again. They are getting a high dose in an activity online or on the computer or in the tablet. So why bother with these little ones? And aggressive behavior, yes. So making harmful online trends, we've seen, okay, I have seen videos of some trends on TikTok online, which in instances where some children died as a result of those trends, so someone just introduces a stupid thing, excuse me to say, and then people just pick it and they start, trending it and they start doing it. Some are as harmful as recently, just last month, there was a case in Latin America in which a boy intentionally, one of those trends and challenges online on TikTok, drank a poisonous spider, put a poisonous spider in a liquid to drink it. I mean, poisonous butterfly, sorry. I think butterfly rather. Eventually he died after some days at the hospital, intensive care. And when I was looking at that report, what was going through my mind was, why would someone intentionally do this? This is the type of the trends and the challenges that go on, which makes no sense. And yet people are just, because it's like everybody is doing it. So fear of missing out, that trend, do it, record it, upload it, and then like they fail. But you see, it's all part of the dopamine thing. They feel that satisfaction, being part of a trend, being part of a challenge. So they will get that satisfaction. And it's quite serious. Then sleep disturbances, staying up late, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., they are still not asleep. And you see, the brain now, when they keep doing it consistently, it's rewiring the brain. And that is where the danger comes in. So now they go to class, academic performances begin to dwindle, go down, and all that. Then we are looking at digital red flags, the behavior red flags, secretive online activity. And this aspect is a little challenging because the average parent will not know when they've created a new account. You will not know. Hidden apps and disappearing messages. Now, last week I saw a chat, like they've created, those who remember chemistry a bit, they have this element table. We have the various elements, and they've created a table like that for identifying shots coded message for various activities. So drug usage, gun usage, sex related activities. And they've used images to just codify these things. And it's like a chat. So you, the parent, when you see an image you take the phone and you see an image, it just looks like, oh, it's just a symbol. But those using it for communication know the meaning of that symbol or that image has been sent. And it's like intentionally, people are developing and designing things to bypass the prying eyes of parents. You see, and sometimes this is where the other issue comes up. It's advised that, oh, okay, so parents should join like the social media platform their children are on, monitor their pages and all that. We're also having instances where when the children know that the father or the mother has joined this, they change their identity, they create a new account altogether with a different identity. So the old identity that the parents knew on that platform will be dormant. They just won't, or they will just at best be posting something neutral, something that is harmless. Okay, they're thinking, oh, my child is doing well, everything is fine online. But they are really living a double life, having a real bad accounts with bad things in which the parents have no idea that name. So the name they will use is not a name that if you search, you even identify it or link it with your child. So they are getting smarter by the day in terms of how to outwit the parents. So it's quite a worry. But you see, by the time when I'm ending, I'll make a few comments how we approach this whole thing. And so overreacting to notifications when the family is in the car together, or the family is sitting together, or a gathering, and the way they react to alerts on the phone, panicking if a message arrives or a phone is taken away. That reaction alone is a major red flag, because clearly that means the device is more than just the device. There are things, the message that came or other messages on it, if it's to be seen, is a big, big, big issue. So that reaction, how they react to notifications when they are around parents on their devices, is something that can be a red flag for parents to be concerned about. And then sudden changes in friend groups, interacting with much older strangers online. For this one, it's a clear no. I mean, there's nothing like moderation in it. It just doesn't. It shouldn't happen. I mean, it shouldn't happen where it's like they form acquaintances with strangers who are adults way beyond their ages, like this friend in the US issue that I talked about. So these are warning signs parents should really be looking out for. And then we are looking at the physical and academic warning signs. Loss of appetite, changes in eating habits, linked to body image pressures. I mentioned the social media comparisons earlier, and is it 2 or 3 years ago, Meta, the mother company for Facebook and Instagram, did an internal research, and this was leaked out by one of their former workers, in which they considered that their platform is having a psychological effect on some ladies, on some girls. And one of such effects is the body shaming, the body image thing, in terms of how they look. So the outlook of these girls online is a worry. So they compare themselves. I'm fat, I'm slim, I'm this, I'm that, and all that. And it's creating pressures on some people to the point where some have committed suicide. There's a case in which I've not followed up yet, but the mother was suing Meta regarding the death of her daughter. It's been a while, but I think I'll look for it, the outcome of such a case, whether they'll be able to conclude. But that's how serious it is. That the mother was able to identify, because I think the suicide note or something linked the suicide to social media, and so that's how come the mother was taking them on head on. You see, so it's quite a serious issue. And declining school performance, distraction, they miss assignments, falling grades, then unexplained gifts or money. Clearly, these are things that parents should question and be concerned. And it means something, predator sending gifts, who is sending the gifts. You should be able to probe to know what is the source and all that of the gifts that you are looking at the child having. All right. So if these behaviors persist or escalate, so when do you intervene? When really do you intervene? Choose the right time and setting, because communication is key in this whole thing we are talking about. Communication, how you communicate. So choose the right time and setting, because if you don't do it right, if you are not strategic about it and the plan backfires, it can complicate things severely and seriously, because it can really shut the door of communication completely. And that can have serious consequences. So the strategy is important. The timing is very, very important. The right time and the setting. So avoid confrontation. Don't ambush them mid-activity. So it's like they are playing a game, you just go. And I perceive these 3 teenagers who tried to kill their mother last week. It could be they were playing, I guess. They didn't give the actual details, but I perceive they were playing a video game. People play games online, and the mother went to put off the Wi-Fi. Clearly, their game playing online was interrupted. And that can cause this anger to the point of taking knives from the kitchen and chasing their mother to kill. So it can trigger a severe reaction. So you have to be careful about midway interruptions, and then pick a calm moment, so initiate, oh, can we talk later? I've noticed some changes and I want to check up or check in with you and all that. So the approach should be in a calm way, and then use neutral spaces. So you and the child alone, less pressure than this the direct face to face. The face to face one seems a bit like judicial, like a type of courts type of thing. So that can be a bit uncomfortable for them to open up in some instances. So the approach is very, very important. And if these, I mean, the issues persist, then now you seek counseling, you can contact Ghana Internet Safety Foundation. And unfortunately, the Ghana police, their cyber units now, it's not too organized as like it used to be. But let's see how the new IGP put things in place. Because the last time I communicated with one of the officers, he said a lot of them were transferred across the country. So that unit, as it used to be, wasn't in place like that. So let's see how, because it's very important. The seeking and then fine outside the police come in when it's more of the criminality and all. But if it's about the social aspect, the psychological aspect, then talking to clinical psychologists, quite a number of them are trained in these ways of communicating and all that with the children. And the extreme way that you have to get to those people who can help. I mean, psychologists, the counselors, trained counselors, and from the angle of technology, people who understand these things to also help to approach it in a way that will be able to help the child. All right, so let's end it here and then let's open up for questions and let's see how we can progress from there. Thank you. Yeah, so let's get the questions. Okay, I see some questions. Yeah. Okay, all the way for the old. Okay, there are some new ones.
Okay. Thank you very much, Aben, for this insightful presentation. I truly believed we gained a lot from it. I certainly did. So as he said, question and answer time. If we have any questions to either
Oh, look like okay.
Doreen
The
or Aben.
slides weren't coming. I don't know. The internet was very bad this evening here. Oh, okay. Oh, my apologies for that. Anyway, you can have access to the slides. So
After,
that,
okay. That
oh,
would
yeah,
be
that will
great.
compensate for it. Yeah.
Okay,
Very
thank
sorry
you so
for that
much.
aspect. Yeah.
Don't worry. So you can go ahead and answer the questions that people have.
Okay, so mine starts from okay, please can you send me the slides? Okay, the slides will be available because due to the network, as I said, apologies for that. Then can the government restrict access to some sites that have bad content influence on children as being done in North Korea and China? It's not all parents that can set parental controls to the gadgets. Unfortunately, our governments seem not to be too interested in it's quite a worry. I mean, sometimes I ask myself, so why won't government just ban all these bad sites? I mean, it can be done. It can be done easily if they really want to, but it seems no one is really taking interest in that at that top level. Okay, and someone says the presenters, okay, yeah, the screen issue. Sorry again. It's making the discussion, well, yes, it was a bit unfortunate due to the network. Good evening, please. My question is, if you have downloaded cartoons for your child who is just 2 to 3 years old, and it seems he is becoming very more addicted to the phone, how do you go about it since you cannot explain to him the dangers associated with it due to his age? Yes, that's an interesting one. The age is very, very 2 to 3 there, yes, toddler, as we put it. You know, this is where the challenge comes in. Parents have to understand that when we want to use devices to pacify them, to control them and all that, it becomes a problem maintaining that status quo as it is. So because now the child is getting, let me just break and talk about this. Just yesterday, I was told of a family in which for the little child to bath, they have to always put the phone by the bathroom and play some song before the child will agree to bath. And I was telling the person that, so does it mean if the phone is not available and that song or the songs are not playing, the child won't bath? They say, yes, there'll be chaos. You see, you've set a stage. Now the child has accepted psychologically that this must precede my activity. So if you have parents who do some things for the child, if they let them watch, oh, okay, before the child will eat, okay, come and watch this, or whilst you are eating, you watch this cartoon whilst you are eating, then the child will cooperate. It's a very bad practice because you are wiring the brain of the child to link it with the activity. So when you delink it, you take that the pacifier out of that activity, then it's a serious withdrawal symptom for the child because the child is used to A plus B all the time. Now you take A out and you say, just come and do B alone. It's not a fair deal. The child, in the mind of the child, no, this is not how I know it. You see, so let's avoid grooming them and helping them and pacifying them with devices as a way of getting them to, calm down or eat or sit down and all that. Now, if the harm has been caused already, then withdrawal issues is what should be looked at in terms of limiting the times. So if previously you allowed the child to watch endlessly the whole Saturday or the whole day, the child will have access to the tablet, no control or phone. Now start reducing the hours gradually over a period of time. So you are not suddenly breaking it, because withdrawal symptoms in that case can be very difficult and traumatic for the child. So we reduce the hours gradually to the point where that safe 1 hour to 2 hour type of a day access to these devices. I believe that should help. And then looks like, okay, let's slide issue. Okay, you get the recording. Yes, okay. Please, in case there's any incidents, can you use to report to the police or GISF? Yes, so the police, as I said, unfortunately, for instance, if you go to most police stations, I'm in Kumasi now, you go to most police stations, there are some police officers who even have no idea about.
Okay, I believe Aben has been dropped off. So Doreen, you can jump in and and answer some of these questions. Okay. You're back.
Yeah, so some police officers have no idea about the cybercrime unit, as I said, and instances where last year I was at Western Region and there was a case with a client, so we went to the police station closest by, and the police officer we met at that small police station, it's like no idea about cybercrime and all that. So everything is Accra. That's how some of these challenges, everything is Accra. So you may not get the needed support from the police directly depending on your location. But for GISF, yes, our contacts is available, like the website, the email address, and then the phone number. You can get it afterwards, and I think that's a good start to move from there. Then we still have competent cybercrime investigators at the crime units who can attend to anyone with cybercrimes. Okay, all right, yeah, all right, thank you. Oh yes, they are there, but the last time it was like this, the transfer issues and all that. But well, we thank you for this alert as well. So how do you deal with inappropriate advertisement that also come with the watching or reading some content? Those can sometimes be very inappropriate. Yes, thank you for your presentations. Okay. Yes, the issue is about the control. So the issue that parents should look at now is how do you allow the children, what do you allow them to watch, and how do you allow them to be online alone? So that whole issue of control and managing the online presence is you have to balance it well. So, for instance, let me use my children. They are teenagers, but I keep telling people that it's about how you start the training. None of them has a phone, and they are fine with it because they all know that till they finish SS, no one is getting a phone. And it's a deal. I mean, they agree and they are okay with it. They are comfortable with it. You see, if you start the training and the communication in a better way, so even though those in GHS, for instance, now, they have assignments and all that, they will know, okay, they'll ask for, there's a computer they can use to do and all that. So, but you control the usage. You control the usage. You shouldn't, I don't subscribe to the concept where children or teenagers have their phones unlimited use. They can do whatever they want with it. It's their own device. Parents cannot touch it. They have a password on it and all. I believe it's wrong. For those with younger children, start it this way. Let the communication start at that younger age. Let them understand that it's for their own good. That's why you are restricting, giving them access to things, these devices. And even when you are giving it to them, you are controlling the usage. It's not that endless usage. They should use it on whatever time they want and all that. No, you give it to them for a season, finish, bring it back. You are the custodian of it. They shouldn't have custody of it to let it be like it's their property. It should be a family property in which the parents are the custodians of it. So at the end of the day, it should be in the parents' room, not in their room, so that you can minimize the exposure to, unnecessary materials online. I think, yeah, that's the end of the questions so far. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Aben, once again. I believe some of us want to ask questions verbally, so you can raise your hand and we would allow you to ask the question that you have. Okay. Okay, Stephen, the floor is yours. I think he has to unmute. Okay.
Hello, can you hear me, please?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Please, my question is, I have a daughter who is in the secondary school, and she crave for phone. We decided not to buy phone for her until she complete. But because anytime she gets a phone, the kind of conversations she actually make with people is not good. So we decided that we'll not buy phone for her. But what is happening is that for about 7 times, we seized phone from her. She can go out, get a phone from someone else, bring it to the house, and midnight she'll be using it. Midnight she will charge it and be communicating with people. So even recently, when she went to school, before she would go, she took somebody's phone and she was using it for 2 weeks without our knowledge. It was lastly that my wife caught her, and when she was trying to take the phone from her, it became like war. She even beat, the hand of the mother. And finally, the phone has been taken. We got to the man who gave the phone to her, and the guy too was saying that she requested for the phone to make some calls, and she gave it to her. We are just neighbors. So
Okay.
gave the phone back to the guy, and we warned him not to actually do that again. And he accepted kindly. We didn't drag any issue with him. But you know what? She went to school and called us with a number. And the number I can post contact. I mean their number.
Mhm.
Stephen,
Hello.
can you hear me?
Oh, look like we
Stephen,
lost the internet. We lost him.
yeah.
Yes.
Very, very interesting
Hello,
case
hello,
study.
hello.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
Yeah, continue,
Hello,
please.
sir.
Stephen.
Yeah, hello, sir. So
Yeah,
when
continue.
actually we went to the guy actually confessed that when she was going to school, she came for the phone from him again to school. So currently the phone is with her, and she's using it to, call the people that she wants to call. But
Wow.
I'm just surprised. When she was going to school, I carried her on my motorbike to the station. And that fateful morning, she didn't go out. So as in when she went for the phone again, so I don't know this case now. How do
Yeah.
we handle it?
Okay, Eben, I would want to
Yeah.
Thank you
come
very
in.
much.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for it's a very serious case study. Yeah. Thanks
Yeah.
for the question. The first
Okay.
point is, I mentioned that communication is very critical in solving this whole issue, because when the addiction crosses to a very serious level, then they can react in dangerous ways. And as you
Okay.
cited, yes.
Yeah.
So communication is very key. So
Okay.
when the next time you get her, I mean, whether you visit her at school or she comes home, don't
Okay.
don't confront her on the previous issue,
Mm.
because it will escalate the issues again. Rather, de-escalate
Okay.
it by being silent about what happened. And then after a while, after a day or two, when she has settled from school and all that, then you find a calm way. As I said during the presentation, the setting and the timing is important. Then you
Okay.
raise the issue from the angle of these days, the dangers of communication, the dangers online, the dangers with boys. You know how to approach it from that solving a social problem type of thing, the worry and the issues happening now in the world, and then you use it to approach her case. So
Okay.
you let her understand that it's not that you hate her or you don't want her to enjoy technology, but it's because of the way the world is going and the way things are happening. That's why you want to protect her. It's for her own good and for her own future. You see, so
Okay.
you approach it from that angle of letting her calm down, then have a frank discussion with her that it's all that you are doing is not that you don't want her to enjoy life, no, but you want to protect her. You want to
Okay.
help her and have a good future. She's in school. There's a time for everything. So this is the time to concentrate on academics and all that. You see, so let it be an open discussion without rebukes and confrontation and condemnation. Because as soon as you bring in that one, then she would want to be defensive.
Mm.
You see, so let it be on a friendly note and approach it in a
Eben,
calm way as the first stage. Hello.
Eben, I would like to come in.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can. Yeah, you
Actually
can
wanted
join.
to address it, but it seems you didn't hear me. So,
Oh, okay.
Stephen,
Madam.
thank you for yes, telling us this. And Eben has mentioned, as I also said earlier in my submissions, that you don't talk at them. You talk to them, you take your time to, but then fortunately for you, you've established the problem, the root cause. That is your neighbor. You don't
Yeah.
have to
Okay.
go calm on your neighbor any longer. You don't have to talk to him calmly about it, because if you respected him and out of respect, you returned the phone and he found a way to snoop it again to your child whilst you are trying to protect your child, I think it's time you bring the police in, because one, there could be a case of grooming in there.
Okay.
How would you know it's just phones? Okay, it has started with phones now. You are just neighbors. And he's already hiding to give her things. Next, it will be money. He'll be promising her things. And by the time you realize he's sexually abusing her, and because they have been doing this for some time, the child would not tell you anything. And if care is not taken, by the time you realize, you'll be too late and your child would either have a disease or should be pregnant. So the next time anything goes on again with regards to that gentleman again, you go straight to the police.
Okay.
Yes, you go straight to the police. You go to DOFSU, you go to Waju, and you have a very solid case. You know, you have a very solid case. And one thing that I always tell people is, fortunately for you, you have evidence. Document it down. If you can remember the dates, you put the dates down, the time, how it happened, and then the numbers, the previous numbers she had used to call you. You can also take the phones, the type of phones, you know, you document everything down. And once you have documented this, yes, you have all those things. So you have a very solid case. The gentleman is somebody you should be very, very careful about. If something again happens, I advise you go to the police straight away. There is a cybersecurity person on here. I don't know if she would want to chip in and advise, because I know they handle such cases. Yes.
Okay.
Christina Adake, if you are still on, I think it would be great if you just give us your views, because I know you've handled such cases before.
Okay, Doreen, who are you referring to, please?
She's among the participants. Christiana Adake.
Christiana, okay.
Yeah, her hand is already up, so.
Yeah, okay. She's allowed now.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yeah,
Yes, please, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm Christiana Adake. I'm with the cybercrime unit. Initially, earlier on, I sent a message about what's the name of the guy. The second speaker said that the cybercrime now don't have enough investigators. Yeah, we do have, even though it has been, some of them have been transferred. You know, initially they wanted to decentralize cybercrime. And we even had training for investigators. So I do agree with you that most of them don't even know what cybercrime is when a case is reported to them early. Okay, I don't know with Stephen. I don't know where you are. I would like to meet you and talk to your girl. I am a counselor as well. Sometimes we talk when they bring them to the office, we talk to them as well, and they understand. Sometimes you have to give them real life examples for them to know what is really happening with them using phone since they are going to school. So I don't know, maybe after this, I would like to have your number, that we talk and see how best we can help your girl. And I want to agree with Lauren that you can as well report the guy to any police station near you. You can equally come to our outfit and we will look into that. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Christina. Yes. I think Stephen, your
raising my hand, raise Oh, I think.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Oh, obviously we're raising our hands,
okay.
No, it was me. It was me.
The person is still. Oh,
hello.
Christiana,
It was me.
Christiana
Sorry.
made that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay. I think
Naduli.
Naduli.
Lots of hands. Yeah.
Yeah, Nadole, you are allowed to speak now. Please go ahead. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Good
Thank you.
evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. So
Good
I have a
evening.
challenge. My network isn't so strong. So I was hoping that we could get the recording of the meeting. Is it via our email?
Yeah, you'll
Sorry,
get
my
it.
line is so bad. I've been missing some of
Now
the
you get it. Yeah, because by email, the registration to join, the email address that was used.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, it's
You're
very
welcome.
unfortunate. The net hasn't been the best at my end as well. It's very frustrating this evening using it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take the next question from Ampem Dakwa. You're allowed to speak now. Please go ahead. Please unmute your microphone and go ahead. Hello, Ampem Dakwa. Okay, I think I have to allow someone else. Gabriela Ofosu. Yes, you are allowed now. Please unmute your microphone and we'll address your question.
Okay. Good evening, colleagues.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Please,
Good evening.
I have a daughter. I have a daughter who always doubts my trust for her. And it all came about this. He has been chatting with some symbols I don't even understand. So I do, even when he wants to say, how are you? He won't even write, how are you? He will use some terms and I'm a pencil. So I don't know. And always messages keep disappearing. When I keep on asking questions, she thought I'm doubting her. And it means me. So I have keep quiet, just watching her. Although she's not having a phone, it is for the trends. Their 7th birthday, it was a present to them. So he has been, since she is the adult, he has been using it.
Okay.
So how am I going to handle this?
Okay.
Please, the age. What is the age?
I was just about to ask the same.
Yeah.
How old is your daughter? The one that is doubting you.
The one she say I'm doubting, I don't trust her.
Yes.
Yeah.
How old is she?
15 years, but she's in secondary school, 2nd year at Louis.
Okay. So, So, Gabriela.
Yes, please.
The most important thing now is to keep talking to her. Now that you think she's doubting you, you have to come down to the point that you let her understand that everything that you are doing it for her sake. And if one thing that you can also use to monitor her activities online, look at how she behaves around the phone when she's around you, or even if she's all by herself. If something fishy is going on and you still can't comprehend, I recommend you see counselors or you talk to an elderly person that you know she can trust or can confide in. You can start with somebody that you know she can talk to. You understand? If it is a teacher in her school, if it is a pastor, a reverend sister, anybody that you know that she would listen to, you start with that. And if so, you don't get anything, I advise that you get a professional advice, you get a counselor to talk to her. As Christiana was explaining earlier, sometimes these children, you have to present them with real life cases that their fellow mates have experienced, and then they've they've experienced worse.
My
So
dear,
sometimes
they will
that
tell me story. As soon as I started, and then they start story.
you know, this is the teenage times. Things like this, you should be ready for it. But then you see, earlier on, I was also saying that you should be able to keep up with trends. If you take the phone from her completely and she's still getting phones to do that with her friends, then it is also another problem. If you think she's doing that in school, then the best way to do is to report to the school authorities that this is what is going on. Definitely, they will know that you're looking out for your child. And every parent would want the best for their child. So should their parents to be called into it, something can be done about it. But I don't think the school authorities would want it to go out. So they would handle it. And I believe that some schools have counselors and counseling units. You can talk to the school to also go there so that they can also do their best. At this point, there is nothing you can do than to talk to her. That's what I'm saying. You should take your time. You come down to their level and then you let her understand. If you like, you can go away from the whole conversation and then start talking to her about what she's studying in school, what they are doing. You can bring up you yourself. You can bring up something you saw online. You chat about it and you you laugh about it. Gradually, you'd be breaking that ice. You know, she would get closer. She would come to understand that my mom is kind of seeing me on the same level when it comes to social media. And once you say they think you don't know anything, you can actually ask her to teach you some of the things that is going on online. That is where you build the trust, you know? And everything that she does, you need to take your time and follow it. You should be learning from what she does, the activities. And then gradually she would open up to you. She would even tell you things that you wouldn't expect she would tell you. So it's a matter of time.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You want to add something?
Yes, I believe Ampim Dakwa, please unmute your microphone and ask your question.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
Thank you
evening.
very much for the opportunity. Tonight, I have really learned a lot. I have learned a lot. If you have not ventured into a different world, you wouldn't know what is really happening. We are into a debate competition, and the topic they brought for the competition was any benefits people think the social media offers young people is just an illusion. In fact, for young people, social media is a curse rather than a blessing. And we are speaking for the motion that to the young people, social media is a curse. It is rather unfortunate that I have finished writing my script. Other than that, I would have had a lot of points raised for my contestants to use against my opponents. But it has been so insightful, and we are blind as parents to certain things. We think we are following trends and the like, and we pride ourselves in the fact that we've been able to secure or procure tablets for our children, not knowing the consequences that will come afterwards. My question is, I have an 8-year-old boy, and he's addicted to the phone such that when I am sleeping, this boy would sneak into my room through the windows and then come and pick my phone and then go to his room. And as late as 2, you go, and this 8-year boy is still with the phone playing game. So initially I beat him, but now I don't beat him. But the case still persists. Yesterday he slept at 1. So what do I do?
Okay, now, as I said earlier, the harm has been caused, but it's not beyond repair. What you need to do now is to de-escalate the issue. During the presentation, I don't know whether my internet was on or not, but I talked about the fact that the dopamine effects and the consequences of when they now get addicted to the games or whatever addiction it is. Now they are getting higher doses of the dopamine from the brain, the satisfaction that they get from the reward that they get from it psychologically and all. So now to just stop such a thing is very difficult for them. That's how come we have those on drugs. We call them the junkies. They are just it's difficult to withdraw from the thing because the brain is wired to that satisfaction all the time. Unfortunately, games, social media, and some of these addictions online is being likened to that same effect. But then the withdrawal of it is the lessening of the hours being used for that same game. So let's say if, fine, he was playing the game for 5 hours a day. Now, gradually, first, communication is key, as I said. So now you have to sit and talk with him, understand his problem. And I mean, share it like, okay, yes, I know you like games, you are now used to it, you like it, you're addicted to it. I mean, don't mention the word addiction, but then you know the challenge now. And then express to him that you want to help him to solve the problem that he's in now. Yes, you will give him some time to play the game. You will willingly give him the phone to play sometimes. So you can agree on, okay, fine. After school, after you've done your homework, you've eaten. Okay, I'll give you for 1 hour to play. Agree on some principles. And then see, when you go by that terms and the conditions of you allowing him willingly to do it under the control of your agreed terms, based on the communication that you've had, not the rebukes and the shouting and the beating, as you said, but then in a loving way of a mother showing care and concern to the well-being of the child. He, as a child, will know the mother is concerned, because this time around, you are coming not with the shouting and the screaming and the beating, but you are coming showing love and willingly helping him to, okay, you play the game, but now don't play more than 2 hours. Don't play more than 1 hour. And now use that one as a control measure to de-escalate the addiction. Whilst the communication goes on, showing love and showing care to him continues, and see how that response happens. If he still tries to sneak and continue and all that, then that means you need external help, a psychologist or a counselor coming in to add afterwards. Doreen, if you have something to add.
Yeah, yes, I would like to come in. So, I'm from Dakwa. First of all, what I would like to tell you is, he sneaks to take your phone. What you have to do is to change your passwords. And I know that there are some inbuilt password apps that if you know that he picks the phone and he does YouTube, you either put a password on it or you set a limit to the YouTube that by the time you go to sleep and it is maybe 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, those particular apps should also go to sleep with you. He or she is an 8-year-old. There is no way they would know the settings to navigate. You change your password, you put password on those. So once they do not get access to it, they do not have a choice than to sleep. And after they do that, they will definitely come to you. That is when you start talking to them. As I said earlier, I gave an example about my kids. Now they don't even use tablets at all because they know we are in the exams period. And as a matter of fact, for months now, they haven't even used tablets. Like, they understand the code. But they know that when we are going to schools in the morning and we sit in the car, I give them the phone and then they know what to watch out for on the phone. But before they even do it, they'll ask me, Mommy, can I watch YouTube? Or Mommy, I would like to watch this. And I like the fact that when I ask them to watch a particular thing and there is something else, they would come and show it to me and ask me whether they should watch before. So it all depends on the control. You limit him, and then now you give him what to watch. You understand? You talk gradually, you let them understand that this is not good for the eyes. You let them know that when mommy is sleeping, I have to sleep. If the eyes doesn't rest, the eyes can fall off or you can't see again. And if you can't see, it means you can't do anything. You let them know the dangers, but it doesn't have to be those extreme dangers that we are talking about with regards to teenagers and all. You let them understand petty things as in the health complications. Getting to watching too much YouTube or playing too much games, your eyes will hurt. When your eyes hurt, your head hurts. And if mommy is not around to know that, you might end up in the hospital. Me, I always tell them that if they do things and they end up in the hospital, I wouldn't be there with them. It will be a scare. It's a scare. So they know that once I'm going to do this, I don't want to sleep in the hospital alone. So I'll let my eyes rest. And they've come to understand. So it's just a matter of you controlling it now and letting him understand. That is all I have to say.
And a quick one, a quick addition to what Doreen said. You know, regarding the changing the password, there are instances where when it's done without, yes, it's your phone, you can do whatever you want, you can lock it and do, but when they cross to levels of addiction and you just lock it without proper communication, as I said earlier, to de-escalate the addiction, there are cases where some children have gone to the extreme of finding another phone anyway, anyhow. That also has its own issues and all. So, because it's like someone who is so bent on having access to a phone at all costs. So if mommy's phone is not there, then whose can I get? Then it becomes a whole social issue. You see, so communication cannot be bypassed and should communicate with the child. So that let the child understand that this is a problem that you are concerned about as a mother and you want to solve the problem with him. And now you talk it out. Then you let him understand that because you are stepping in, so you are changing the password, you reduce access you are going to give to him in terms of control times and all that, so that you can now control under a measure where you agree and you allow. But then as to he being able to just pick your phone and all that, there should be a red line. You should be able to, draw a line as a parent that this is my phone, do not touch it. And that respect, you should be able to now instill it after you do the communication and all that. So that now you exert the control, the respect should be there. You should be able to now step in and say that enough is enough. I've given you some time to play with it. Enough. This is my phone. Give it to me. It's time to learn. You're a child. You're a student. You are in school. Exams is coming and all that. Let's, start putting in these measures and see how it goes.
Okay, Daku, I hope your question has been answered. We'll take a few more questions. Gabriel, you are allowed to speak. Please go ahead with your question.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So my name is Reverend Sedo. Yes, and then tonight this has been very educative, that it has kept us even up to 8 o'clock. My contribution will come as this: that in this world there's time for everything, as Bible has made us to understand, and that this is because our time with news, to radio, to television, in at those times try to find keep us from contents that would be bad for us, but to help you to be with contents that can help you out. My case is that my children, normally when they come back from school, they'll come, oh, daddy, teacher has given us this assignment. They say we should research on the internet. And you cannot say no because they will take it. But before you realize, then they are on their own pages, and then I do come in and say, hey, give me back my phone. If you are not going to use it to study, then I have to take my phone. But with all that, as parents, how can we help our children to see the better side of internet and gadgets? Because life has always been with positive and negative from the beginning of time. Everything that has happened under this earth has always been positive and negative. How can we encourage our children to use this technology in terms of now even AI, which can help them with their studies, or can be creative? A lot of children can be creative through the internet, to which even some children, even at early age, are even monetizing it, getting money out of it, helping even their parents. How can we leverage on the positive side? Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Gabriel. That's a beautiful submission made. One, there's the good side of internet, no doubt about it, and there's the bad side of the internet. But then to draw the line between the good and the bad, for the adults, it's a bit easier. Oftentimes for the children, that's where the communication comes in. And how you communicate it is also important. So it doesn't come out as if you don't want them to use it, you don't want them to know what is happening and all that, but it should be in a loving way. It's very critical how you approach, as I said earlier. So depending on I don't know their ages, the class ranges and all that, but when it for the let me address the assignment one first. When it comes to the assignment one, then that one, the principle should be, yes, you have an assignment. Do the assignment for me before, if you want to do something else, I can give you some short time to do it. You see, if we don't approach these things with some controls and some quote and unquote controlled freedoms, let me put it that way, then that's where sometimes it creates the issue of let's sneak out and do our own thing, let's do it secretly and all that. So that's why some psychologists have agreed that yes, giving them some measure of usage in a day, reasonable usage in a day, is safe. So be it playing a game or watching a cartoon or whatever, within some reasonable time is acceptable, so far as the content is healthy and is wholesome and is safe. So yes, I have a communication with them. Communication is so powerful because if it's done well, it solves a lot of these problems we are talking about. Okay, so do your homework, concentrate and finish the homework well. And then, okay, I'll let you have my phone for like 15 minutes or something. Depending on, when you have that communication with them, and then they can trust that, oh, daddy says he will let us use his phone for like 15 minutes. So they will concentrate and do the homework. And then now you give them, okay, you finish the homework, okay. For the next 15 minutes, sit here, don't go to your room, be here so that you know what they are doing. And then you just, so when you do that, it opens up that trust between you and them. Because, it's not a one-day journey. They will be growing, they'll be getting extra knowledge from school, from friends and all that. So if you don't create that trust communication line now, then mistrust starts coming in. It becomes difficult going forward. So open that line of communication and let them begin to trust you that, oh, okay, when daddy says he'll give it to me for 30 minutes or 15 minutes, he did it. So, okay, then I can trust him that, okay, daddy, I want to play a little game. Can you give it to me? So then that communication, when they need it, they can come and ask for it. And then when you give it to them, you ensure that they use it for the rightful purpose as well. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And then please, I also like to submit to all our we all parents over here. We shouldn't always just focus on the negative side of the internet and gadgets. There are positive side. And then let's trust our children. Let's share time with them as they use the gadgets. Let's share time with them. Sometimes go back to the history that it will be left on the gadget. Any page that they open, there will be the history. Call the child. Just try to watch the site. If it is not good, explain the negative side effect that you can have on the child. Try to just be their friend instead of just trying to come out that, oh, don't do this, don't do this. Children of this, we say they are the Gen Zs. They would like to play with everything, but let's trust them and then guide them in how will I put it, in a gentle step. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your submission.
Just a quick addition to what Gabriel said. He made mention to the history in the browsers. Now we know that all the browsers also have the option where you can use incognito mode, in which they will browse and no history will be left. So that is also something parents should be aware of. So if they take your phone or your laptop or whatever to say that they are browsing, and you check the history and there's nothing to show for it, then it's a red flag. They are hiding something. Because you see, when they browse in incognito mode, there's no history. I mean, it doesn't show in the normal history when you check it, because it's like a secret mode. So that one, it finishes when you closes the mode, the tab, that is it. Nothing shows that he's used your phone or your tablet or your laptop. So when you know that they've used the phone to do something, you know that they browsed on your device, and yet no history shows in the records, then that means they were using incognito mode, which raises a red flag. Communicate with them about it. Why are they hiding the activity? Thank you.
Thank you. John, please go ahead with your question.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
You just muted your microphone. Can you unmute?
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Please, I want to make a submission on the earlier submission that Stephen raised about the doctor and then the neighbor. Hello. Yes,
Yes,
and then Doreen and then Sister Christina came to give a earlier submission too on that, saying that I think the neighbor has gotten the biased too much, so at this time it should involve the police. But I wanted to suggest that since they are neighbors, he should do it month to month or go to the neighbor, have a talk with him thoroughly, and if he still persists, before he can think of going to the police, because these are neighbors and anything can happen. So as I don't agree that immediately they should rush the police. That was what I wanted to suggest earlier on, that my hands have been up. Thank you so much. It's been wonderful listening to you all.
Thank you for your submission.
Okay. Abdul, you are allowed. Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you very much. We have a very wonderful submission from all of you, and we really appreciate that. My submission is not a question. I'm just giving a submission to what we've been discussing already.
Okay. Please, can I pause you here? We're going to have the last two questions from Ezekiel and Zoe. Yes, and that will be all for the questions. Thank you very much. Abdul, please go ahead.
All right. Thank you very much. Earlier on, Doreen was saying something about if she can correct me, that is be watchful but do not spy, or so. I don't know whether I'm correct with that. And what I'm trying to say is that shouldn't be on only their devices. What if you haven't buy any device for the child? I'm a teacher, and I have been having some experiences of some kids using mobile phones without the knowledge of the parents. Some of them used to watch adult content in the school, and some even use the AI for their assignment and all that. But the parents doesn't know they are using mobile phones. So as a parent, sometimes you have to check their bags without their intention to see what they are having in their bags or what they have been hiding. So their school bags and the bags at home and everything, we have to be constantly checking that to see if they are having something in there so that we can promptly address that issue. let me make it very short. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Yes, Ezekiel, please go ahead. Yes, Ezekiel, please unmute your microphone and go ahead with your question.
He doesn't seem to be around.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay. I think this session is a very educative one, and this challenge is something that is growing in our societies currently. And then I want to ask, even though some institutions have started raising awareness on this issue, but I want to know how are you strategizing to engage other state institutions like NCC that have civic education clubs at the various schools and mostly engage them? Would it be possible to engage an institution of that sort to be able to ensure that we carry out this education massively? Because it's a trend that if we don't take care, it will eat into our youth and even some of the adults. Some adults are vulnerable to issues or things like this online. So would it be possible to engage institutions like this to be able to carry out this massive education on this challenge? Thank you.
Okay.
Christopher, are you addressing it or I should talk?
Doreen, please, do you want to step in?
Yeah, I think he's referring to Ghana Internet Safety Foundation.
I think GISF should handle this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we've had a number of training sessions for schools, for instance, where teachers are trained. We've had instances of joining, being on programs, and also there's a direct communication with government agencies if the need arises. And currently, we've had a series of training with GES. So yes, NCC will look at it, and I believe it shouldn't be a challenge. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. We'll have a last question from Zoe. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Actually, it's Irene. I couldn't join with my phone. So this is my daughter's phone I'm using. Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yes, so this session has been so revealing and so much great, exposition. But I would like to add up that on the front of the parents, I know that parenting is a very challenging role that most of us have just come to meet it. But one thing that we can also do to safeguard our world's, desire to be on the net is to bond with them in person, communicating with them in person. Let our communication be more. Yene yemanu enche dandi inkomo. Yene mumbo nkomo fe bibia ho. From the word go, we start that conversation with them, that communication with them. When we bond with them in that manner, no, then that desire to be on the phone for longer hours, no, so esube kate, until you just about everything that goes on, maybe during the day, at school, everything. When you do that, then you are also building the trust between the two of you, parents and then their children. You put the trust up there. And the children must also see, say, we are coming clean. We come open. Let's be open to our children in any way possible. Let them know that we are in for them and we are there to protect them. in this kind of internet space and everything else. Let them see, say, we are in their lives from the word go. So let's build a communication with them from the word go, in-person communication, so that that desire to be on the net never down. And then secondly, I also want to suggest, say, a program like this, can we have a session whereby we can use the local language? Because most of us parents, most of us, we really want to understand the issues. But a badness and in I think say some of us will also feel discouraged even to join. Even some of us connecting right issue to them. Most parents call me that they are unable to connect. Because even some of us, we are not used to the internet space. You know how to use the whatever handles. So I think from the, going forward, let's see if you can have a session whereby we can have it in our local language. Then we can also bring out the things that we need to communicate with you. Then we can pick it up from there. But let me say kudos to GISF. You are doing a great job. You are doing so much, and may God bless you for you to continue this work for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Auntie Irene. Thank you so much for the submission and the kudos. I really appreciate it. Okay, so my director, Mr. Gabriel Uforiapia, will speak now. Gabriel, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. As Madame Doreen said, we'll be having coming next week. We will have in-person one that we'll be doing it in Twi, in Ashanti region, and then we will come to Accra as well. So it's well noted, and we will do it in Twi for everybody also to get it, because parents are BBC. They don't know anything about the digital space. So it is a time for them also to know that even when you give birth at the children's hospital, they teach you how to breastfeed your child. So at the same way that if you have your digital life, you need to know something about it. So we would adhere to that and then make hay when the sun shines. Thank you very much. And I also want to say that we need to also think about the TV as well, because we are talking about the digital space, the phone and the tablet and then the laptops. But TV also is one of the things that is destroying most of our young people nowadays. All the behaviors that are not good and copied from the digital space and then the television as well. And we go to schools around 12, 1 a.m. when parents are asleep. The little people go to watch nude pictures, nude videos on TV. So as we are moving forward, we hope that tomorrow we'll get the best. So we hope that tomorrow everybody joined, and then we'll also get more knowledge from the people who also would take in charge tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gabriel. Your submission is well appreciated. So we've come to the end of today's session, but before we close, there is a poll that needs to be answered or addressed. So I'm going to launch it. Yes, so I believe most of us can see the poll now, and you can input your answers. We would be grateful to receive them. Okay. Please let me know if we can see the poll. Great.
Yes,
People have started answering. All right, that's lovely. Okay, so we'll give I think 1 minute, 2 minutes for the poll to, yeah. Okay. Okay. I see 27 of us have inputted our answers. Let's wait for a few of us to join in. I think we are 47. Yeah. Okay. If we could get at least 30 of you giving the response, we would really appreciate it. At 30. Okay, I'm going to end the poll. Okay.
I think some people may still be feeling.
Okay.
Yeah. Because we still have a number of participants, so I'm sure they are still going through it. Yeah.
So stop sharing. Well, I ended it too soon. That's unfortunate. Yeah. Okay. I hope we all enjoyed tonight's sessions. As we wrap up today's impactful session, I'd like to once again express our sincere thanks to our amazing speakers, Eben Asare-Boafo and Doreen Rahina Suleiman, for delivering such timely, relatable, and actionable insights. We appreciate you. Kudos. See you all same time tomorrow at 6 p.m. GMT. The link will be shared to our various emails as promised. We encourage all attendees who joined tonight to share the gospel, spread the word, tell a loved one or a fellow parent to join in, and let's all learn and together make the online space a safe place for our children and everyone. Have a lovely evening. Okay. Bye.
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 Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Welcome. Hello, Eben. I believe we can leave the meeting now.